Yo, what's up, Facebook?
What up, Facebook?
What's up, podcast? We are live. We're doing our thing.
Back in the basement.
Yes, we are back in the basement tonight. Should be a good time had by all. Got some new topics tonight. We're going to touch up, I think we're going to continue on our serial killer, finish up with the serial killer
from 2 weeks ago,
that we had 2 weeks ago. And then we're going to bust into a new topic.
Yeah.
Your favorite segment, my favorite segment, we got a new beer.
We got beers.
Speaking
of beers, guys, I got to apologize for my performance from last week. What can I say? Dan's beers are killer, and they will sneak right into your frontal lobe, and they'll fucker you up real good.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I apologize for that.
You should fucking apologize, because, goddamn it, listen. I got a bad back, and I can't carry you.
Oh.
All right. You were lucky that we had Tanya with the mixed drink slide in and save it from your pee break.
Well, pee breaks happen. I have a small bladder, okay?
Pee breaks do happen, man. No, you know what? It went fine. They did hit. It hit hard.
Yeah.
Because the thing was with me, fresh air always fucks me up after drinking. Like, if I'm in a...
Really?
Yeah, an area, I can be cool and be like, hey, we're drinking, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
But if I step outside and it's like fresh air hits me, it's like a whole new ballgame. It's kind of like, well, buddy. Because when we left, because even Dan was making fun of me as I walked up and he goes, oh, the sober one returns. And I went, all night, buddy. I can sit here and do this all night. But when we walked outside, I was like, all right. Like, I can feel a little bit. Like, I don't know what it is. I've always been like that. It's like fresh air, it's a change of environment.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm weird. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
I guess it is a beer show.
It is a beer show.
It's gonna happen. I guess it's bound to happen.
It is. It's gonna happen to you, or it's gonna happen to me. And hope to God one of us is just gonna continue it on, bud.
And we just call ourselves a Uber and go on.
Yeah, or I just follow you home.
Yeah. But yeah, Swine City really slapped last week, guys.
Yes.
It slapped me right across the frontal lobe. And
if you want to know, Chris did enjoy the Do As I Please.
Delicious.
Which was a dark stout.
Yeah.
And I found out that I'm not too keen on too many stouts. I think the Twitchy really fucked that up for me.
You got PTSD from a beer.
I did. I missed work for
half a beer.
Fucking 2 days for that. The Mr. East Coast was pretty decent. I enjoyed the Mr. East Coast.
What bad?
And it was the Strictly on Account was really good.
Yeah.
But this was my favorite, which actually the Strictly Account was the Yam beer.
Yeah.
Which, if you watch the video, Chris shoots it like it's a shot of whiskey. If you watch the video, there was no half. Man, that tastes good. And then again, it was, and then down with the little glass.
The throat open.
But I liked that one. But my favorite out of all of them was probably the Pippin Ain't Easy, which was a cucumber mango infused beer. Which was good. Was really good. And then the last one was Easy Go, which I didn't mind. It was a traditional lager. It was just I think it was just a good dinner beer.
Yeah.
You could probably have 10 or 15 of those.
10 or 15. On a moderate evening.
Yeah. So, I mean, you could easily have that. You know? But hey, that was the list. Go try out Swine City Brewery. It is located, is it Fairfield or Hamilton?
It is considered Fairfield. Yeah.
On Industrial?
Yeah, it's on the corner of Industrial and Sims Road in Fairfield.
There you go.
Dan, still a super shout out to Dan. That guy is like so cool. You know, I went back the next night and hung out with him for a little bit, and it was just like old chums.
He's like, thank God I don't have to carry you out of here tonight.
Ew.
That's all.
I walked out on my own accord. Thank you very much.
Hey,
so anyways, enough
you walked out that other night on your accord. We just had to explain to you that they were closing.
Yes.
Like, we're not staying. Like, he's got to go home. But,
set me up a cot, Dano.
Yeah, Dano, tell that pizza shop I want to turn it into an apartment. I'm not leaving.
Can't make me go.
Yeah, can't make me go. Well, before we get into our actual topics for the night, it's that time. It's that time. We can't start a show without a little bit of the old
social lubricant, our favorite thing, we do here. So, our beer for the night for our Tap It and Crack It segment. What are we going to do when we have a bottle?
Pop it and drink it.
Okay.
Give me time. I'll figure that out.
Marinate on it?
Yeah, marinate on it.
All right, I kind of chose this one based on can because I know, Smitty, you love a good can.
I do. I love
especially when they come in pairs.
Oh, yes, I do. Bigger the better.
Yeah. Okay, today we got a little thing called Hazelnut Stout by Country Boy Brewing. They're coming to us out of Georgetown, Kentucky. On the side, it says for the country. We've got a nice brown hue here, a couple brown hues, kind of like a hazelnut.
Mm-hmm.
Their logo is a truck. It says Country Boy Brewing.
It's a stout brewed with hazelnuts in coca, winter seasonal.
It's cocoa, Steve.
Coca.
Pocahontas?
Yeah, Pocahontas. Well, look at that. That does not say the A. I know the A's silent, but it's Coca.
Cocoa.
But it's winter seasonal. I guess if they sell it in bigger, but I think as these, they just come in 12 fluid ounce cans.
12, yeah.
And
they're not matte.
No, they're not.
They're not matte.
I do like the can though. I like the. Oh, I did not notice that one of the B's is the truck. For the logo.
Shit! Look at the product placement right there.
Right there in your face.
Hey, that's why you have marketing people.
Yeah, that's why you have marketing people.
That's brilliant.
You know, for the country, you know what? Nothing taken away from the place. I just don't see too many, I don't think of, when I think of country, I don't think of them just enjoying a hazelnut stout. I think
that's true.
You know what I mean? But hey, like I said, I'm not dogging it, but I feel like it should be they're just a typical,
just a Steve Weiser.
Yeah, old Steve Weiser. They're probably in the back giving it all fucking hell, and you know, flipping each other off and stunning cows and stuff. But no.
So I watched. Speaking of Stone Cold, he was talking about Shark Week one time, and he said if there was one animal he was afraid of, it would be a great white shark. He said, because, when a human, when, you line them up, you can get right a hold of their neck, perform the Stone Cold Steve Stunner. He said, but with the shark, they're all one length. He's never going to be able to line it up. They're in the water. And he does not think that his signature move would be effective against a great white shark. You look up that interview.
I will have to
look up that
Absolutely
interview. Hilarious.
Yeah, I will have to look up that interview.
We might have to find us a Broken Skull IPA and try it sometime.
Yes, I would love to try it because he talks that IPA up like crazy,
which is shocking for me.
Yeah, I know when he does the what is it, the Stone Cold thing where he meets up with celebrities and stuff. Most of the time they have drinks on that show. He plugs the hell out of that.
That's IPA. What they drink.
Yeah, they.
Did you see the one with Becky Lynch where he opened it for her?
Yeah, and she's
like, oh, such a gentleman.
Yeah, and then she gave him. Then she
stunned him.
Yeah, and then she stunned him.
And now she's pregnant by Seth Rollins. But anyway, let's tap it and crack it, buddy.
All right, we gotta tap it.
It's dark.
Wow, that is super dark.
It's dark and frothy.
It smells decent. Oh man, buddy, you went nose ring deep.
My other one broke. I sneezed it out.
Oh, God.
And it shattered, so I had to go with the stupid bull ring, and I hate it.
Well, you literally just shoved it all the way in the can. I'm really glad it didn't get stuck. And we would have had to... Luckily, Chris here is a medic, so he could have totally handled the situation.
Well, do they know about we have an off-screen guy?
No, they don't. You can wait.
Let's plug our...
So, the Two Guys, One Basement has always just been me and Chris, and we handle everything that you see, and
it gets hard.
It gets hard sometimes, and thanks for noticing. And Tanya's a huge help with the setup and stuff. That she's like always helping to try to make things better and rearrange things. But we have an off-screen guy. We can't really turn the camera. If he wants to get up and run maybe in between us, you can say hi to Chris.
He said no.
No? All right, then. Chris is going to be doing all our moderating, and he's going to be, for anybody we might miss a question or anything like that on Facebook or all the social media stuff. Chris is there to take care of that for us, and he's going to be helping us out with also merchandise. I know everybody likes a good merch, which we still have plenty of stickers. So if anybody's wanting a sticker, let me know. I know I've passed out quite a few. Chris is sporting one on the back of his laptop now, and I have one on the back of my car, and you have one on the back of your car.
I still need to put mine on my car.
Oh my God! Here we go.
I know, right?
Oh jeez. I'm trying to merch plug, and you're not even. You're just like.
Ew. Ew. Shut up and drink your beer.
Let's do this.
All right, man.
Toast
Here we go.
it. Here we go.
CBB.
Yeah. Okay. First and foremost, that is like straight tastes like coffee to me.
Really?
Like a hazelnut type coffee because it's got that stout to it. But I don't mind that. I don't mind it. I'm not saying I like it, but I don't mind it. Like, if you handed me one of these at your house and been like, well, man, this is what I'm not going to bitch about that. Like, I'd be like, I can drink that. Totally.
Cool can.
Yeah, cool can, man. Thanks.
I'm not getting any hazelnut from it at all.
I get a little.
Really?
I get a lot of stout, like that stoutness to it, but I catch a tiny bit of hazelnut. Not extreme amount, but a little bit.
I'm going to give it a swirl.
Maybe we should swirl it.
I think these are supposed to be poured.
Who fucking pours a beer?
Pour it down my throat.
Yeah, pour it down my throat, for God's sake.
Relax it and...
Circus seal.
Let's try the second one. Hey. It's okay. I mean, it's just okay.
I'm not...
But I'm catching zero hazelnut. I would have liked to have caught a little hazelnut.
Oh, hazy.
Hey.
Oh, I don't know. I'm kind of, like I said, I'm on the fence with it. I mean, it's kind of weird that I kind of enjoy it, which is weird for me because I'm not a huge stout guy. So.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It's not bad.
No, it is not. Yeah.
Leaves a stout feeling in your mouth.
Yeah, but hey, I'd give it like 4.2.
Yeah, I'm only gonna give it a 1.5 thumbs up. A half thumb, if you will.
Half thumb. It's a 4.2 for me.
Yeah.
I know Dan gave me a weird look on how I rate beers, but he has to understand that's how I do it, and you just gotta live with it. I love you, Dan, but that's how I do it. But, I mean, I'm going to continue drinking that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could definitely maybe drink one or two of them and be cool with it. I don't really, I couldn't sit around and drink them all night, though.
Well, you can't sit around and drink stout all night.
I don't know. I've watched some pretty gnarly old dudes when I used to visit the family, just
Scotland,
Guinness all night.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, though, the best stout, the Guinness is, probably the most famous, probably, I think. I mean,
of your dark drafts.
Yeah, your dark drafts. I went to a pub with my cousin. It was his birthday. My cousin's birthday is on St. Patrick's Day.
Wow.
So it was like a double thing. And, the Guinness that they gave me was double filtered through like a cooling system thing.
Okay.
The best fucking beer I've ever drank in my life. It was, I don't know if it was because it was so cold that I was just like...
Once it hit your lips.
Yeah, once I was like, oh my God, I could do this. You know what I mean? Feeling like it could be something that I could do all night with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a stout guy, so it's more or less of like, definitely, I drank one. That was all I needed. But man, yeah, it was super.
I do like a good Guinness.
I don't mind Guinness. But the thing is, I think that's also with me. It's like I know I don't really care for stouts as we've been like adventuring into you've got me into adventuring into beers.
Yeah.
And some other companies, I'm not too big on their stouts.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe it's in my head because maybe Guinness is kind of more commercialized. Yeah. That it's kind of like my brain tells me well, everybody else likes it. You know what I mean?
It's like a Budweiser.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is I think Budweiser tastes like a metal spoon.
It does.
It's fucking horrible.
It tastes like a blood transfusion.
Yeah. Or like when you bite your tongue and you go, oh God, you know what I mean? It's what you know what I mean though. It's like that taste, and you're just like.
Don't get me wrong. I do like a full flavored lager.
I prefer if you sat 2 cans down. If one was just a regular Budweiser, and the one was that one that we had to be angry to drink.
You had to do fucking cartwheels.
Yeah, I would choose the cartwheel beer.
Really?
Over a regular Budweiser. That's just me though, because I don't like that metal irony taste to a regular Budweiser.
Yeah.
So
the king of anemic beers.
That's what it is.
If you're suffering from anemia, get you a Budweiser because it's chock full of iron and minerals.
Put it all right back in your system. That's the way it rolls.
You know, if you let a Bud Light or a Budweiser drip over time, it will create a stalactite.
And just.
Sorry, I saw a thing watching it with my kids. It was about how stalactites are formed, and it was.
and
it clicked. Minerals make stalactites.
God. Just a slow drip.
Just a slow drip.
Slow drip.
Over centuries.
Yeah, it'll...
I'm sure there's enough Budweiser for that to happen.
Oh, fuck yeah. There's probably plenty of...
Somebody make a Budweiser stalactite.
There's probably enough undrank Budweiser laying around. Because you know everybody's like, Bud Light.
I'm cutting
my Bud Light beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Bud Light is always, I feel, is definitely beer pong beer.
It's your basic bitch beer.
It is. It's basic bitch beer, and I've drank plenty of them.
I have too.
I'm more like we've discussed though. I'm that high life.
The high life, living that high life.
Which I have a whole 12-pack in the fridge as we speak.
Yep. Shout out to everybody that's been leaving us comments here on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
We're not ignoring you. We're just trying to keep continuity going. So we're just going to give a all-over hi. We will be glancing periodically, so.
Yes.
And we've got our side wizard going on.
Yeah, he's over there doing his thing. I see that he's helping us out, making a few little comments here and there.
Yeah.
So, all good, all good. But, Satan.
Hail Satan.
Hail Satan. Hail me.
Hail me. That's another podcast.
Yeah, that's a whole other podcast. Gimmick infringement, though. I am not paying that $1.25.
Nope.
Hell no. I will
nope.
I am free to say Hail Satan.
Yeah, you are. 100% free to say what you want. It is a free country.
Yes.
Apparently.
Apparently, we agreed.
We're not. No, I had no intention on
we agreed to not go down any of that path.
Well, I had somebody asking me to cover the election. I said, absolutely fucking not.
Nope. Not on this podcast. You want to go, there's plenty of podcasts.
Plenty of political podcasts. Steve and I are not political.
Nope.
Hang out with us for a night. You'll find that out right now.
Yeah, we are not political, and we promised from day one when we cut the pilot for this that we would not drag politics into this podcast.
No, because it's pointless. Like I said,
arguing with people till your face is blue is absolutely pointless.
It's not my cup of tea. You know, me and Smitty, we will shove dick and fart jokes right down your throat.
All night long, baby.
All night long.
All night long. Here's your mouth, dick, and right down your throat. All fucking night.
I like how you did the poo particles.
Well, it's misty. It's misty. I mean, you know, whatever. You know, they right down your throat. And it kind of resembled a penis. Somewhat. Or a baby arm holding an apple. I don't know how you want to fucking say that. But anyway.
Brian Haynes is bringing up the hippos for you.
Oh, great. Yeah, the fucking hippos where.
Good call, Brian. Good call, dude.
So
we dropped off 2 weeks ago, talking about serial killers.
Yes.
I think we wanted to do a one hitter on that.
Yeah, just nope. Ooh, don't say it too loud. Tanya will be down here.
The devil's lettuce.
The devil's lettuce.
So yeah, I mean we didn't get to touch nearly as much as we wanted to on serial killers, and that might be something we do in the future.
Yeah, because I literally did some really cool listening to another one of my favorite podcasts, which we've said 1,000 times, which is Last Podcast on the Left.
Mm-hmm.
I just listened to their whole thing about serial killers during the World War I era.
Yeah,
dude, that was some awesome shit. We know our American-based serial killers, but learning, I always find it fascinating when they start talking about the overseas serial killers, because
it's just it's such a different world.
Yeah, I never really knew as far as it all that there was an actual Dr. Satan.
Yeah,
which I found out this week when I was at work. I was listening to them, and their whole segment was on Dr. Satan. Yeah. So I was like, oh shit, this is a real dude. He was really fucking killing hundreds of people.
Well, yeah, and then there was also, there was Jack the Ripper, and there was See, this is why I need to research more. There was another Ripper, like the Scottish Ripper or something like that.
What was it they were talking about how, we had the Night Stalker or something?
Richard Ramirez, yes.
But over there they had the Night Crawler, which was kind of but this was before Richard Ramirez. These were,
right.
And they were kind of if they had a battle out on who had the cooler name, we had the Night Stalker, which was way cooler than
the Night Crawler. I just see this lanky dude crawling around at night
in the grass,
butt fucking naked.
You come out to take the trash out. The fuck?
And he looks at you like,
he's just asshole naked.
I'm here to stalk you. I'm where? Look at me go.
Why are you crawling? I don't get what you're doing with the crawling. But
I would say, motherfucker, get up.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
You know what? Take this trash out. Since you're on my fucking property.
Since you're on my lawn.
Yeah, take the fucking trash
And you know what? Leave your dick out. I kind of like it. Hey, Nightcrawler, flip that dick out.
Yeah, Nightcrawler. Flip that cock out a little bit, will you? Fucking Nightcrawler.
Speaking of flipping cocks out, another one of your favorites is Mr. Albert Fish, right?
Yes, Albert Fish. So, really, in my top things is Ed Kemper is my all-time favorite. I mean, the dude was Bumblebutt fucking Kemper, but he was super fucking smart the way that he did
Ripper,
it.
thank you.
Huh?
I got fact checked. The Yorkshire Ripper.
Oh, the Yorkshire Ripper. Okay,
yes.
Well, thank you. Oh, that's guy over there.
Mr. Wizard.
Mr. Wizard coming through. All right.
I like it.
I already enjoy it. All right. But, so it's Ed Kemper. And
I already love having him here.
Yeah, I know. It's so good because I would have had to stop doing what I'm doing, and I would have had to been
stop what you're doing.
Especially with the pig farmer and the Canadian pig farmer guy.
Yeah.
Which I already forgot his name, but I had to stop doing what I was doing.
Robert Picton,
yes. But I had to go into Google and do everything while we were trying to do this, and then I'm oh, there it is.
Well, then one of our top fans, Susan, she was like, Robert Picton.
Yeah, she obviously went through and...
She already knew.
Yeah,
she already knew.
But, so it's Kemper, and, you got that two spot, which I know most people are probably I'm a big Bundy guy, or...
It's kind of hard not to be.
It's not. Well, Bundy was a whole different breed.
He's in an echelon. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think Bundy's the iconic...
Yeah.
I mean, the dude, escaped from, every jail. He was sitting there, he's in jail, and then he's you know what, this food sucks, I'm hungry, I'm out. And he would just leave. He would go to a vent, and then he'd be, running across the grass,
Well, since he decided to represent himself as his own lawyer, they let him have access to the libraries, and he'd be, looking through his books, and he's like,
out the window I go. I'm like, fuck you guys, I'm out, and... it's more iconic for him, but I mean, as far as it comes down, it's like Ed Kemper and then like H.H. Holmes is my 1 and 2. Then you get into like your Ed Gein, which I really thought Ed Gein was really cool. And the only reason is I just thought because even though he did kill people, like even though like he was like making clothes and gloves and shit out of people's skin, he would dig up bodies. Yeah. And then he would put them back. Like he was kind of like, I only wanted the back straps. Yeah. But I'm done with it. Back straps. You know what I mean? Like he's like, you know what? I just wanted the back skin. Now I'm putting it back. Guys, before I go though, I gotta take these nips because I'm gonna make an awesome belt out of these nips. Sorry.
Well, you know, guys, I really just miss my mom a whole lot. Yeah, I really like nipple belts and all kinds of different skin shirts and pants. And I even got myself a set of pussy lips I put around my own penis. Yeah, yeah. And he just smiles the whole time.
Yeah, he was just an oddball human being.
And what it came down to is there was a deep sadness inside this guy, and that's where it all came from.
I think there's a deep sadness deep down in like all of them, but there's certain of them that wear it like on their sleeve. And other ones are just kind of like, you will never see that part of me. Yeah. Like, the people they killed seen that part of them. Yeah. But people, like, when they interview them or they, like, get arrested, you're never going to see that part of them. Like, they're going to be like, yeah, I did it, fuck you guys, and all that. But deep down, they're like, I'll kill all you motherfuckers.
Yeah. Speaking of the heartless serial killers, I was looking into one prior to the show, and... it's a little-known serial killer. His name was Maury Travis, a.k.a. the videotape killer. He made tapes of his killings, and he was a very, very vile person that claimed the lives of 17 victims. I think he only got charged with 2. But he had tapes of all of his killings, and... actually heard audio of it, and it was chilling because this guy did not give a fuck. He had a so he had a one-story house and a basement. So the cops go in, and his upstairs is just spotless, not one thing untouched, looked beautiful. Went downstairs, complete fucking full rack torture chamber.
Wow. Now, is he the one, if I'm not mistaken, I might have just listened to this. Is he the one that, like, the videotapes would start out, it would be like Wedding Day?
One of his it was Wedding Day.
I just listened to about it.
Really?
Yeah, I finished it up sitting in my car right before I went into work because I didn't even want to stop. Like, I was listening to it and I'm like, fuck, I don't want to quit right now because then I would have to pick it back up on lunch.
Well, and I'm like, why do you not hear about these things? And I think one thing that... the sources throughout that he was one of the few African American serial killers.
Yeah, that is true. That also came. I think that was you listening to it last pod on the. Yeah. Did you go through the whole thing of the Angels of Death?
Not yet.
Okay, so when they get to those guys, like you're gonna be like, what the fuck, like. Those guys were...
Spitty, I can't wait to be like, what the fuck?
No, because like the thing is like you hear about that tape, the tapes, and you hear the audio from the tapes, and you're like, oh my god, like this guy was, controlled killing in an environment. Oh yeah. And these Angels of Death guys were like, drive down the street in broad daylight and be like, fuck, that guy's dead. And they would just get out and shoot you in the face, get in a car, and they drive away. But they were doing it like all over the place. Like they were just murdering everyone they can get their hands on.
So they were more like spree killers.
Yes, they were spree killers. But they had like a really long run. They shut down all of San Francisco. Wow. I mean, San Francisco did not even want to be like you. They were just like, dude, don't come out of your fucking house because where their randoms were. You know what I mean? Like you'd walk out of a store and they'd be like walking past, and then. You might go around them thinking you're cool, and then they just like, while your back's turned, they just shoot you in the back of the fucking head. Shit. And the thing was, they would kill on blocks. Like, they would kill you on a block, get in a van and drive around the block and go kill someone else and then drive off. Like, they were, wait till you, dude, so.
Listen, guys, we're going to have to shut down the trolley. We know it's progressive San Francisco, and you guys want to go. I don't know why I have a Wisconsin accent while I'm doing this. I am geographically fucked.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're geographically fucked. But no, so we wanted to get into Albert Fish.
Your favorite.
Yes, Fish.
One of your
had,
favorites.
one of my favorites. Fish had an obsession of self-mutilation.
Penile torture.
Yes, penile. Not just penile, it was like pelvic, and he was fond of like ass torture.
Yeah.
He would paint his ass cheeks gold and green, and yes, and he was also known as the Gray Man. For where he would take children and he would kill children and stuff. But
see, that's where I differ, because that's why I hate Albert Fish. Like,
well,
the child's like, I can't fuck with child's.
Well, no. I think okay. The reason that I think I'm not saying I like it because of like what he did.
I got you.
It's my fascination of like how his, like we've talked about, it's like how his brain worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I know he was like the child killer, and you know, and kids knew him, like they knew like to watch out for this Gray Man and stuff like that. But Fitch was known for these long needles and just shoved in all of his pelvic area. But my favorite thing of all is when they came in and they raided his house and they pulled open a drawer and there's a fucking hot dog. And the cop asked him what the hot dog was for, and he goes, "I shove it up my ass." Right? And the best quote of the whole story is that where raw dogging comes from? Right? And to me, I was like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, this guy knew, like, he was doing some sick shit, but he just didn't care. But the thing is that he had kids.
Yeah.
He was married.
He
had a daughter.
Yep.
I think, a daughter and 2 sons, I think? 2 or 3 sons.
Yep.
I don't think he ever never truly harmed his daughter. No, he was kind of rough on the boys a little bit, but he never took to the extreme of what he did to his victims of, like, other children.
Right.
So,
and, you know, he would write, oddly, okay, so the letters that he would send from the penitentiary to his daughter, because he loved his daughters.
Yes.
He adored his daughters. And the letters were so weird, because they'd be like, you know, "Oh, daughter dear," I can't remember their names, and I'm not going to research it for time constraints.
Yeah, time constraints.
"Oh, daughter dear, you know, I love you so much. You know Daddy loves you this much, and, you know, I really hope you find a nice boy to spank your bare bottom." And they were, like, so weird and creepy like that. Everybody knew that he was a total fucking creep.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the dude
He was always talking about dirty shit. And one of the things that I love is, remember the little bat that he had with needles that stuck out of it?
And that's where
he would sit there
and smack his dick to death with that thing. Like,
and remember, one of the parts, his son walked in on him, and they're like, "Dad," and he looks up and he's like, "Oh."
Yeah, and he just keeps going.
And he just keeps going. And he's like, "I've been bad."
Yeah, like, well, that was his thing, I think, was like, he would do the killings, but then felt punishable maybe for the killings, as far as, you know what I mean? Like, driving the nails in, or, you know, like you said, mutilating his dick with, like...
all the needles they found in his intestines.
Dude, guys, if you don't know who Albert Fish is, Google Albert Fish, and it'll pretty much show you an x-ray of his pelvic area with the amount of hardware this man had shoved in his fucking pelvic area. Like, I mean, it literally is insane to think that he would push him in so far that he couldn't get him back out, and then he walked around with that. And you know what I mean? Like,
loving every second.
Yeah, loving every second of, like, the amount of pain and agony that man must have been in, but he loved it.
I just want to know, and this might sound a little weird, a little off-kiltered, but I don't care. I want to know how big this dude's dick was that he could just bust it out and start hitting it with a studded paddle. Because I'd have to have a little ass fucking paddle.
Yeah. But, I mean, do you do something like that, like, full-blown? Or do you go in limp? Like, that...
I mean, that might have really gassed him up. Like, I've got my club, I've got my dick in my hand. You know what? I'm full blown. Let's just.
I just committed murder.
I'm
sinning. Yeah, I am fully aroused at this point. Only one thing to take care of it. I gotta beat the dog shit out of this thing.
I wonder if he came afterwards.
I bet, you know what, I bet they didn't tell, but he must have
Gotten some.
He must have got some type of pleasure out of it. I mean, that's the only way I can think of it.
Shit come out looking like tomato soup.
You're right. Dude, I never even thought about that. That fucking
God.
Milk.
Man, milk, and blood.
Look at my ball batter gravy.
There is no way, shape, or form that this dude possibly could have went through life and not had like anal bleeding and fucking pissing blood his whole life. Now, if his body functioned normal through all of this, then that dude's a machine, bro. Absolute machine. Because there is no way, shape, or form.
I'm not going to mention names, but it brings to mind a story we heard in Akron.
Oh yeah, shish kebab.
Shish kebab.
That would be a special guest moment, and you would have to hear that story from that person.
Yeah.
So
we're not going to
get into that.
But that just made me think about old shish kebab.
Yeah. Oh God. I'm sorry that I had to hear about that, but we laughed. We laughed, but yeah, but I think it was also the fact that there was a little bit of alcohol involved, and we were laughing about it. Like, but to us though, like you telling me that story, it's kind of like, okay, I would never do that, so I'm not going to think, oh, that would hurt.
And the spice, remember the spice?
Yeah, up his ass.
Yeah, we can't get into that right now. We're going to save that for another episode.
I can't get into that. That's somebody else's story and somebody else's time. Oh, and Tommy says, I hear he's doing very well.
Well, good.
I am so glad that Bob is doing well.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
Poor Bob. He's like 70-something, 80 years old, and my man is all about mutilating that tip. And that's as far as I'm going with it.
Tip mutilation here on Two Dudes, One Podcast.
Tip mutilation.
I don't. I like to jazz into mine. See, I've got that thumb. I got the hitchhiker's thumb. So do you. Do you ever just get a nice grip underneath and just hit it?
And you massage it.
Yeah. People
think it's funny that when you say you massage it.
Yeah.
And it's like, nah, bro.
Tease the tip.
You got to tease the tip at that, man.
Sitting in my tent.
Indian style.
Just
staring right down the barrel.
Yes.
Like this. Looking right down it.
You know what? The thing is, I got that from a true story. Not about me, but about someone else.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. We'll talk about it offline.
We will definitely have to talk about it.
I know you might remember the person. So.
I might, yeah. But no, yeah, I wanted to touch base on Albert Fish because the man was, you'd have to just really Google him, and if you really want the insight of how things go, you'd have to just really read on the guy. Because, they're just kind of making fun or kind of cracking jokes about certain things that he did. Or certain things that that you remember, like you kind of read about him or whatever, but there was so much more to him.
There was, yeah.
And I mean, the fact that he could trick people into thinking that he was a wealthy man, talking about how he wanted to buy their daughters, and the whole nine for this, and the
last person or the last child that he killed and ate.
Yeah.
Let's not forget that he dabbled in cannibalism.
Yes, cannibalism.
They trusted... Albert Fish made people trust him so deeply that, if you remember correctly, the last people let him take their daughter.
Yeah.
They're like,
yeah,
take our daughter.
He had him convinced that he was like this wealthy, farm-owning, like, millionaire.
Yeah.
And that he was wanting to, better her life and this, that, and the other. And
she was going to have so much fun where he was taking her.
And all it really was just to an abandoned house to where he could do his thing. And, which, it's crazy to think. Like, and then you got to think of the time frame as well of where they were at, like where all of this takes place. It's not in a time frame where people are just like, the fuck you are taking my kid. You know what I mean? Like, this is to the point where they're like, man, my kid deserves a better life.
Oh, Albert, we love your gray complexion and your top hat and your moustache.
And your droopy face. And what the hell's going on with the paint on the hands? Nothing. I was painting my ass cheeks. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, the ass painting is still like.
I mean, the gold ass paint. Now, how do you? Okay, like you're in that moment. Like, the only thing that comes to my mind is like you're in that moment, right?
Right.
And like, all right, I'm not gonna make it out of this, or I am gonna make it out of this. But who knows at this point? An old homeboy drops trowel, and he's got a gold ass cheeks.
Yeah.
This guy's pasty fucking white.
Gray.
And here's this fucking glitter-filled ass cheeks. Like, at this point, if I'm going to die, I'm going to have the best laugh of my life about this.
I'm going to be like, you know what, man? I'm sorry. Like, I know you're about to do something fucked up with me. Love the ass paint, bro.
Yeah, I love the ass paint, bro.
Who knows? He might have been like, you like my ass paint?
Yeah.
You like my top hat?
Yeah.
You like my mustache?
And then he breaks out a fucking paddled spike thing.
He's like, I'll just do it to myself.
Smack, 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 smack.
And then it's just a constant dick beating for 20 minutes.
I wonder if that's where beating your meat came from.
Tenderizing the meat. I wonder if like that little hammer that chefs use was like based off
Albert's Fish came up with it all. Raw dogging and beating the meat.
Beat your meat. Albert
Jesus
Fish.
Christ, man.
Yeah, he was. They actually had him locked up in an asylum, I think maybe twice, and they let him go. He was convinced them to like, hey man, I gotta go, guys.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this place. And they're like, ho, go ahead, you pasty bastard.
Oh, Albert, that's fine because your ass cheeks are glittery gold.
Yeah, glittery gold ass cheeks, Albert. Hey, you know what? You have a good day, bud.
And he runs away.
Ass naked.
Gold ass cheeks out with his little top hat, twirling his mustache, going, ha ha.
I can only see it being like a high step run, too. Not like a full sprinter, but like where the legs are going side to side.
With his poor butchered penis flopping in the wind.
Just looked like a fucking beat up windsock. Just flapping there. Fucking useless as all fuck. Oh, it looks like a chewed up piece of bubble gum.
Oh, no. Oh, it looks like an old chitlin flopping in the wind.
Oh, God. Yeah, just gold ass cheeks. His ass looks like two old work boots from all the fucking spikes and beatings that it's taken. And he's just...
Well, he was a fan of the Cat of Nine Tails, too.
Yes, the Cat of Nine was like his go-to.
Yeah.
Which I think was like his earlier
years.
That's
when he started.
Is when he got into the Cat of Nines.
If you guys don't know what the Cat of Nines is, it's a staff with 9 lengths of leather coming off of it with either knots or brass balls attached to it, and then people would beat themselves over the back with it.
Yes, it was kind of self...
It was like from the early Christian years.
Yeah.
That's how people used to punish themselves for their sins.
You know what? I just sin.
Just sin.
I'm not whipping myself in the back for nobody.
I don't know. I'm into a little... Never mind.
No, go ahead, bud. It's fine.
You ever just punch yourself in the leg sometimes?
We've discussed that before.
Yeah.
I mean, especially when my knees hurt or something.
I do too. My kids are like, "What are you doing, Dad?"
I'm like, my knees hurt.
I hurt.
Yeah, hurt. I gotta punch the hurt away.
You punch the hurt away.
Kind of like that.
Fuck the pain away. Yeah. All right. So, are we wrapped up on serial killers?
I think we are. I think we're pretty wrapped up. That's almost at Ep 1 all the way down already.
Holy shit.
So,
you know what, guy? Yeah, let us know. If you want us to do like a full deep dive into serial killers, the two dudes will go in deep, as we always do.
we always say that we won't do a lot of research, but we will do some research. Definitely, if you want us to do our own kind of serial killer special and put our spin on it.
Yeah.
I think that would be perfect. If that's something that everybody would like us to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But hold on just 1 second, guys. We'll be right back. Anyway, Facebook, you get the bonus content.
Boner content.
How you doing over there, Chris? You doing good?
Oh, very good.
Buddy, I'm really enjoying this chat thing that you got going
Oh my
on.
God.
That is
We are keeping it updated.
We are. Everything you are throwing down some serious.
You mentioned like Cat Access.
It's up
It's
there.
right there.
I see it.
Yeah.
Right. I got you.
It's like right now. I like it.
I'm digging it. It's not.
It's
like
a very immersive experience.
Yes, enough killing for tonight. Yes, it is. That's it for the night. Do you want to use the wheel tonight?
Yeah, we can use the wheel.
Okay, well, we can use the wheel.
Yeah, let's mention the hypnotist video too.
Yes,
real
we need
quick.
to get that. That might be something for you to work on for us.
I didn't bring it.
Yeah, Chris has a hypnotist video.
I got hypnotized.
Facebook, you're getting all the behind the fucking scenes. Chris has. We talked about a hypnotist video where Chris got hypnotized,
Like, no shit.
and we were wanting
In
to.
Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Like for real?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and he has the DVD, so we were trying to figure out a way to get it onto the show.
We review it live, but we also have it on our YouTube channel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right.
The full
Yes.
version.
This is the full version. Hold on, we will have to plug. Yeah, that's right. YouTube, you're seeing all the behind the scenes shit.
That's right. They are too.
Oh God,
Yeah.
fuck that.
Steve, you want another country boy?
Yeah, you know what? I will.
Or should we save it till we go back on?
No, you know what? Fuck 'em.
Fuck.
Chris, you want to try one?
Chris is gonna take a pee break.
Oh shit! We
Oh.
got a Chris pee break.
Pee break.
Oh man, good
Where
Christmas
we go?
think alike.
Still use the same.
You know what? Hold on. We are. It's a Chris pee break time. That's right.
With the other Chris.
It's the other Chris.
Our offline.
But we
Chris.
are live on the podcast because we just like to do whatever we do here.
See me, I take a pre-break in case I pre-cum a little bit.
Ooh, I like a little pre-cum.
Ooh.
Tongue's out.
Did you ever watch?
All right, we're gonna come back.
Okay.
That was enough of the pee break. Logo. I just wanted to let everybody see that. As far as that, it's got a little tiny delay on it, but it's cool. But anyway, guys, tonight we are officially going to use the wheel. We talked about a wheel episodes ago,
We did.
and we never got to order one.
Well, they're ridiculously expensive for one.
Yes. But I went the route and got a free one on the phone
From your application.
for the application,
App Store.
App Store.
Alright.
Tonight we just do some random topics. I did some random topics on here. Kind of one that we had left in the good old trusty cauldron that actually it must have fell out.
I'm gonna miss the cauldron.
Hey, you never know. We might just bring it back for certain big shows.
Guys, let us know how you feel after we do the wheel.
How we do
If you
it.
like the cauldron, let us know. We might go back to the cauldron.
So we have Thanksgiving because it is
Should we
November.
even tell them the topics, or should we just spin it out?
Well, fuck it.
Let's just spin it out.
So here we go.
When in doubt, spin it out. You know,
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
here we go. We're going to spin it out for the first time. And it looks like the 90s.
yeah!
We're talking about the
Yes.
90s tonight. That
I'm
worked out really
so
well.
into that.
That
Yeah.
actually worked out really well.
I dig it.
Oh,
Cauldron though. Oh.
cauldron. So yeah, we're going into the 90s. My, we are children of the 90s. We were
We are.
born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, and groomed for the 2000s.
Wow, that was Smitty.
That was nice, wasn't it? Oh, you got a haircut.
I did.
That's sexy.
Fresh fade.
I see it's a fresh fade.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't even, the last time we were doing one of these, you were like bushwick. It was all over the place.
I know, right? You should see my pubes.
Ooh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But anyway, the 90s.
Man,
So I'm an 80s kid.
Yeah.
I was born in 82.
as was I.
And Chris was 89, so he's a lot
I'm
younger.
still 80s.
Yeah, the
89.
89. Yeah, he's a young fella.
Wow.
Young fella, young. But
A wizard.
yeah, man, what things, like, growing up in the night, like, okay, so, like, we came in 82, we're still, and I can probably push this up to maybe, like, 85, probably when, 85, 86. I wasn't even living in the United States at the time. I was in a whole different culture of life at this point.
A couple swirls will help this.
Will it?
Yep. This second one's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe our palate's ready for it.
Yeah, I think maybe after
our palate's lubed.
Ooh, lubed and ready for action.
Boom.
But completely different culture growing up.
Yeah, I always forget that fact that you. I don't forget the fact that you were born there, but I forget the fact that you were. You probably have fond memories of Scotland as a child.
And one of the things about Scotland and growing up and doing the things like, it's a lot different in American base where they're still like, I think we are very fast-paced living. And Scotland is, it's a fast-paced living of life, but you always have family.
Yeah.
It's always a family thing,
So, I know there's like, I'm going to speak from, because I always loved Highlander.
There can only be one.
There can be only one.
Oh, sorry.
Queen did the entire soundtrack, and it won an Oscar for Best Movie Ever. What movie was that?
Talladega Nights.
Boom. So, what's the difference between the Highlands of Scotland and the Lowlands of Scotland?
Well, your Highlands is like, for what I would take it, like your Highlands are like your mountain areas.
Okay.
And, this is what I would take it. It'd be more like your mountain areas, like you're out, not a lot of society.
Okay.
You're out in the Highland areas where it's mostly fields, maybe like shepherd.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful stuff. Your lowlands is like when you get into like the city stuff, which is really funny because like we live where we live now, and the town like literally right over from where I was born was the exact same name, which is weird. I live in Hamilton, but the town right over from me was called Hamilton in Scotland. So it's just kind of weird.
So, my bloodline actually goes to Scotland, too. And as you know, I used to fly the
Scottish flag. Yes. I used to have, until we started kind of moving the basement around a lot, I always had my one Scottish and my one American flag always hanging on the wall.
Awesome.
Which was just because... growing up, I used to tell everybody that my right side of my body was the American and my left side was my Scottish. Because I always used to tell everybody when I was perfectly 50-50.
God love you. You've always been quick-witted, son of a bitch. You old sailor, you. I'm sorry, you old Scot, you.
Yeah. I try. It's something to be cool. Like, I get when people, are always like, hey, man, my ancestors are like, they come from there. And I'm always like, dude, that's cool. Yeah. I'm glad that you can trace them back to that.
Yeah.
But then it's like, for me, it's kind of like, man, I have like solid roots planted there. Growing up though is a completely different child. It's a completely different childhood. But the one thing that I've always carried over from my childhood is my love for He-Man. You can kind of see here, you don't even know if you can see him, I have a little He-Man on the desk, and I have a wall full of He-Man, but that was like the 80s, like, ultimate, guy, because we came through and you had He-Man, and then you had, like, Thundercats. G.I. Joe. And
with the PSAs.
Yeah, with
the G.I. Joe PSAs. Oh, my God.
Which were some of the best PSAs ever. It was kind of like Reagan's War on Drugs.
Yeah.
Where it was like, drugs are bad, okay? But then everyone's like, you know what? That looked a lot of fun what you were just doing. So I want to go try that.
Right.
Don't start fires. Bullshit, asshole.
Yeah.
I'm going out there and I want to burn my backyard down. That's what I'm going to do.
So growing up in the 80s was it was a pretty cool time.
It was.
So we were in the... so we were 7 in 89.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A few years later... We're moving into the early 90s.
Yes.
We're hitting teenage years.
Yes,
we are popping puberties.
Yes, we're popping puberties. And we've already discussed the porn aspect of puberty on a previous episode of kind of, but now I think we could go into more of, like, the things that was going on as we were growing up.
Yeah, so let me give you I may have told you this before. A fun factoid about me is I started puberty at age 7.
Yes, that's what we discussed this because I said no wonder because you've been a hairy bastard ever since I met you.
Right. So just to preface, my youngest son, Cole, is 7.
And he's about to go through the same thing.
No, he's not.
Oh.
I there's a switch on the back of your kids.
Oh, and you turned that right off.
Threw it back down the fucking demo. And
just so it quit making noise. Right. Done with that. I need to go check all my kids.
I know.
Because if I can find a demo switch, they're all getting it. Every one of them.
Aiden didn't have a demo switch, and he is currently in the throes of early puberty. And it's
one of those
different.
things. Well, I got a
It's
14-year-old, and he's got a mustache, and he's almost as tall as me, and his voice has got deeper.
I know. Even since I've known him, his voice has gotten deeper.
Yeah, he's getting to that stage, and, I'm waiting for him to take another stretch, and, he's probably going to get tall, and and hopefully he grows a sweet man beard, and he just does this, you know what I mean? But, it's so funny to think of, like, especially with us having kids, right?
Yeah.
And we get to watch, like, all the cool stuff that they're growing up with. And nowadays it's more of, like, technology-wise. And
Yes,
I feel like now it's like, with all of us, it's like, you have to learn this stuff or you're going to get washed in the sauce.
Yeah.
And, like, you're going to have to. But, like, growing up, we didn't have to worry about any of that shit.
No.
Like, the coolest invention that, like, we were talking about it today, about rotary phones.
Yeah.
And the girls actually knew what the rotary phone was, but I can remember my grandma having a rotary phone.
I know.
All the way up until, like, late, and then it became, like, still a cord phone, but it was, like, the buttons were push.
Yeah.
But then I can remember, like, we had the wall phone.
Yep.
That had the 400-foot cord on it.
It always got fucking twisted.
Yeah, which is kind of like every fucking cord I have down here.
Girl, you got me twisted over, yeah. Keith Sweat.
What?
90s. Just saying.
But, then the cordless phone came around. And it just blew my mind that I didn't have to sit in the hallway and talk on the phone anymore. I could do whatever I wanted.
Well, and then, remember when caller ID came out?
Yes, remember.
Yeah.
Then it led to Star 69 and people.
Star 69. The age, you know what? The age of the phone prank is kind of dead.
It is.
And
that
that makes me, that hurts my fucking heart.
I remember, hopefully that maybe that they might be watching or watch this someday, but I remember Rob and Billy somehow, Rob, which was in our broadcasting class,
Okay.
in junior high school, made a cassette tape of prank phone calls. And one of them was to my mother at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, God. I could only hear her.
My mom,
oh, man.
being as frustratingly mad as she was, like, it was funny because you were never going to find out who it was because this is a start. You couldn't start 69 anybody at that
Nope.
time. You know what I mean? But what button did you push so that you could block the caller ID? Was it star 82?
67.
What was it?
67.
Star 67?
Yeah, Star
Was it
67.
Star 67?
Yes.
I mean, this comes from a culture, though, that we used to have a time and temp number.
I was just going to bring that up.
894-1212.
Oh, wow, man.
Yeah,
I
you
remember
would call it.
Yep.
It would just let you know if it was going to rain that day or what kind of weather you were going to have, and then they would always finish you off with a smooth time.
The time. No, they started off
Yes, with the time, and then gave you the weather forecast right
The
behind you.
temperature is these nuts.
Yeah, what the fuck? No.
That would have been hilarious. If somebody would have hacked into time and temperature. And
Yeah, and just but the thing was you think of like our culture, like these nuts didn't come till like later.
could you imagine if there was D's nuts in high school and we were in high school in the 90s?
Oh my God! Especially with us being with the BSV as much as we were, like these nuts would have it would have been way out of control.
Especially with us.
Yes, I think
Lord.
Yeah. I'm actually enjoying this.
I know, right?
It's
Yeah.
actually really good.
Time and temperature, yeah. I was going to bring that up, too.
Yeah, 894.
And there were other automated lines you could call.
Well,
but time and temperature was the staple.
Oh, that was the staple.
Because you always had to... Because that's the thing. Right now, if I look at my phone screen, Sunday, November 8th, 62 degrees outside.
letting me know right there, right in my face.
Yeah.
But when we were kids and you were like, man, we were supposed to go ride bikes today, but it looks a little rainy. Boop, 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 boop. And then that lady would come on, tell you the time, and then let you know, you're good to go, dude. Going out there and ride your bike, pal.
Going back to prank calls, so we used to run a PSA for our the broadcasting class we were in. It was for the 9 line. Do you remember the 9 line? It was the Christian helpline. 1-999-999-9999.
You know what's funny? Out of the 2 years that we did that class, I never did a PSA.
You never ran a PSA?
Because I wouldn't come in that fucking room, that's why.
Well,
you
missed out.
You guys were always in there doing weird shit.
Like peeing on headphones and...
Yeah, and I didn't want to... Man, fuck... Dude, I hope you're still watching, Brian Hammonds, because I remember you guys being in there fucking around, and it was my time to be on the air, and Brian pulled his pants down and smeared his asshole on the fucking glass in between the studio and the production booth. But what he didn't realize was a fucking blue string from his sweatpants was inside his butthole and was dangling out of his butthole while he was smearing it all over the fucking glass. That is why I didn't go in there.
That's right, you never went.
I never went in there. There was some shit going on in there that I didn't want a part of.
People stretching their flaccid penises to the extremes.
To the extremes. All day.
Oh,
or they would get boners and they would tuck them back really far and open their legs and shoot them out in their fucking sports pants all day long. God damn it. That's why I never went in there. But anyway. Back to the Christian.
I pranked them one night and... Jesus, I'm sorry.
Jesus, I'm sorry.
So I call. I mean, these were like genuine people. Maybe I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So I call them, and I'm at a party. Tim and Ellie was there. If you remember Tim.
Oh yeah, I know. I remember Tim.
Hi Tim, if you're watching.
Oh, Papa Joe.
Papa No Joe.
Reference.
Pro wrestler.
Pro wrestler. Yes.
Anyways, we also had a match to the death that night. I ended up putting him in this move where I tucked his ankle into his butthole, and he was like, "It doesn't hurt that bad." So then I grabbed his chin and pulled it that way.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Almost a little Daniel Bryan-esque, or
yeah.
I think John Cena does that.
Oh, don't bring him up in this
Sorry, I know you don't like that. But anyways, I got him to tap.
You know what my go-to move is?
What's that?
Even though that when I wrestled, people hated me for
Finger
this.
to the butthole.
I probably could have done a finger in the butthole, but I used to take their legs. So here's their legs, and I'd lay them on their stomach. And I'd cross one leg inside the leg, and I'd pull this leg up.
That hurts.
And I'd pull their underwear up and attach it to their feet. And then I would just walk around them while they were struggling to get their foot out of the underwear.
That's fucking genius.
I got it from Scott Hall.
I love it.
But Scott Hall never pulled the underwear. He would do it and then slap the head. But then I was like, that's prime opportunity. You just reach down and grab a handful of the pants and pull the fuck. Because, I mean, the legs are like this. This leg is in perfect position. You just fold it over, and now they're stuck. And then they do the weird thing where they try to roll on their side, but it pulls the feet away from them.
Yeah.
And then they try to roll back over on their stomach, and then I just get to do whatever the fuck I want. That's how it works.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was pretty much it right there. So you prank these Christians.
Yeah, so I call them.
No, before we get it, there's nothing wrong with the Christians. It's just where.
Oh, no.
Nothing wrong with the Christians. Chris is just telling a story about him pranking the Christians.
Yeah, I mean, they were a non-profit organization that would offer support in any kind of distress you might be in. They would talk to you about anything, and that's where that becomes important.
Are they still around?
Oh man, I don't know. The 9 line, wizard.
What was the number?
I looked at it. I didn't see for it. I didn't see it.
199 999 9999.
Well, wait a minute. Is that one too many times?
No, because you gotta have the area code.
Yeah.
It's all 9s. You didn't have enough 9s.
I didn't have enough 9s?
No.
What are you talking about? I didn't have enough 9s.
Area code 199. Kind of like 1-800.
Okay.
999 9999. There you go. If this is still going.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Well, continue with your story.
Anyway, so I called the 9 line. Again, they were a non-profit Christian organization that would offer any kind of help. And they would back it up with Bible verses. Again, that's where this comes in because it's very important to the story. I call them. I'm at a party. Okay, so lots of giggling boys and girls in the background. I call the 9 line. And I'm distressed. And I'm like, I touch myself a lot.
Jesus Christ.
The guy's like, okay, well, go on. I know, he's priming up. He's like,
yeah,
all right,
this is what I've been waiting for.
Thank God I've been here.
Finally.
I've been here since 6. It's about time we get some prime real estate.
Yeah, prime time.
Go on, young man.
So I'm sitting there, I'm telling him, I said, I touch myself a lot. And he's like, okay, go on. I'm like, I masturbate constantly. I was like, and it's like I can't stop.
I'm chafing.
And so he goes back and you can actually hear him ruffling through the Bible.
Oh, God.
I'm guessing.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was about Jesus, that book.
Well, I know that. not what I'm getting at.
I'm sorry, you left the door wide open and I took a poop in it.
You did.
So, and you can hear him ruffling, and at this time, there's, 10 cackling teenage boys and girls. And he goes, sir, are you still there? And I'm like, yeah. And he gives me some mumbo jumbo about not spilling the seed. And spill the seed has always been held deep in my heart because of that night.
Spill the seed.
Ye shall not spill the seed. But I still did, and I still do. Constantly. It's a problem.
Yeah. If the 9 line was around, we could have settled it right here live on the air.
Oh, man, I wish. If only that would have... Oh, yeah. That would have been so cool.
You know what, man? That sucks that they got rid of that. Because there's probably some people that besides the prank call, that probably could have helped a lot of people.
Actually, yeah, that is true. We all know that mental health goes unnoticed a lot, so.
Yes, it does.
Anyways, reel it back in like it's a bass on the line.
Yeah, oh, God, we were getting...
I know, I'm like...
I
I had an anxiety attack on the way here.
Oh, Jesus.
I did.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
Okay, phew, God.
I punched myself in the leg.
Yeah. Hey.
Snapped me right out of it.
Shit. Okay.
Well, it's funny because it takes your mind off that and hones into the pain in your thigh.
And then you just
get on with your life.
Albert fishing or something? What the fuck just happened here?
It's a new term. You just coined a new term. Albert fishing.
Albert fishing.
Self-mutilation and degradation.
You're just gonna go punch yourself into it?
Yes.
As long as I don't ever go out back and you're beating the shit out of your penis. And I don't mean in a good way. I'm not going to just...
I'm going to come to the show next week with my ass painted gold, just for you.
Man, I will love that, though.
Oh, God. Merch opportunity. Albert Fishing.
Yes, Albert Fishing with a gold ass.
Holy Santa Claus
Merch man,
shit.
Get on it, merch man.
Notes taken.
Mr. Wizard, get on it.
Doing a little fishing.
Albert
Fishing. Beating the meat. But anyway, my biggest thing for me from the 80s to 90s to now, and it's a big part of, my life and the way, kind of like how I deal with like stress and like relaxing is video games.
Yeah, think of the strides that have been made in video game consoles.
As we sit here with our beers,
oh yeah,
I mean, I do have Nintendo cartridge. They're not real Nintendo cartridge, but they are Nintendo. Albert Fishing.
I'm Albert Fishing.
I'm a speed beater.
I'd rather be Albert Fishing.
Yes, get on it with a gold ass merch, man. I'd rather be Albert Fishing. But no, I do have these sweet Nintendo controller.
This was one of my favorite games, too.
Oh, Mario 3 is a classic.
Oh, Metroid, yes.
And I have a Duck Hunt one there as well. Man.
What a golden age.
It was.
You went from like, what was it, in television?
Atari. There was like a lot of different weird systems that were out before Atari.
The precursors.
Yeah. Atari is probably the ones that we're more well known with because we were coming into that era.
Yeah.
We were coming into the outer era of Atari, leading into the regular Nintendo, the 8-bit era.
Yes.
The 8-bit era had a great run. I actually, my friend Jesse Robertson, you know him very well, has writes a blog, and he got a hold of a few of us and wanted us to do our top 10 video games of all time, individual. And my top of my list was number one was Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Oh yeah.
It was one of those games where you don't think about it, but it was a strategy that you had to, and you didn't think of it that way because you were just boxing, but everything was strategized. You know what I mean? You had to wait till they did their special punch to get in those extra couple hits.
Slide to the left.
Yeah, but that was a lot of Nintendo stuff was a rhythm base.
Yeah.
You're jumping and,
Sight bike.
Yes, a sight bike is one of them. But, you come out of a Nintendo era, and I don't know about you, but I can remember, I had my Nintendo, and for Christmas, it was kind of like, you either ask for, you're a kid, so you either ask for, a lot of stuff, or you ask for, one big thing. I'm not looking for a lot, this is what I want,
Yeah.
And I remember my parents, all I wanted that year for Christmas coming into was, I want a Sega Genesis. And, it was lo and behold of, all right, well, that's, but it was I'm not going to
Right.
even though this is not a kid show.
I'm sure our demographic of children is high.
Yeah, it's super high. But anyway.
So we talk about Albert Fish and docking and butt stuff.
But that was butt stuff. Dude, for fuck's sake, I will bring Tanya down here to fucking verify this. On the way the other day up to 129, right on High Street, there was a girl in a station wagon, and her license plate said, no butt stuff. Swear to God.
Oh.
No butt stuff. Yeah, I know, right?
How
But then she
selfish.
had stickers on the back of her car of the shocker and other things to portray, but then the license plate said no butt stuff. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Oh, come on, hon.
Yeah, loosen up a little bit, or loosen it up a little bit, for God's sakes.
Where's my fart at? Damn it.
But no, but I remember, you remember playing Mario and Mario 2 and Mario 3, and you're used to that one speed that Mario never changed, right? And I remember, I plugged the Genesis up, I put in Sonic the Hedgehog for the first time. Yeah, this guy.
Yeah.
With the fucking shocker tattoo of all things. And I remember barely tapping the over button and Sonic just taking off.
Yeah.
And I was to myself, I'm like, dude,
dear God,
what the hell have I got myself into? And, all of a sudden you're like, man, that looks so real. And, you just got deeper. And then all of a sudden the era of here we are into the Dreamcast or the Sega Saturn.
You had the Sega CD. Remember that?
No. The Sega CD wasn't one. I had the Sega Saturn.
That's right.
Which led me into buying the Dreamcast.
Right.
I ended up flip-flopping on Nintendo until the 64 came out. Well, after Genesis, I was a 64 guy.
Yeah.
And the 64, just to me, is still one of the best systems that is. It literally goes Dreamcast and then 64. For me, as far as systems. The Dreamcast was the sports games were awesome, the games were awesome, but the 64 was holy shit. The wrestling games, the sports games, everything.
James Bond.
GoldenEye, the first multiplayer.
You might want to get your P button ready because it's that time.
Oh shit! Guys, Chris,
it's official.
Hold on. We are taking our
official
True Chris P break.
Yeah!
There it is. He's got his own P button.
I'm good. Thank you.
But anyway, so I'm still got to keep this going while he's peeing. But I became a huge Nintendo 64 guy, and the love of video games just went really long for me. It was just and then it longed out to where some people outgrow them as they get older.
True.
But with me, it was the better they got, the more indulging like it was.
Well, then we introduced the Xbox. Oh, PlayStation 1.
Then there was the PS2 probably hands down is probably one of the best video game systems ever invented.
Yes.
I've had about 5 gazillion arguments with people, strictly over Xbox and PlayStation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's whatever. I'm preferably an Xbox guy. I know a lot of people that are PlayStation guys.
That's me.
It's your own preference for me. But I will hands down say that the PS2 is probably one of the greatest systems ever made.
I think it comes down to what type of games you are looking for.
Yes, and that is also, and he's back. We can't have the P button all the time, but he is back. So. Hi. But yeah, the PlayStation is always, the PlayStation 2 and the 1 have always kind of held that little bit of
Silent Hill.
Yes,
the 2 discs.
Tanya is a Silent Hill, Resident Evil kind of person.
There was another one. Oh no.
Oh wow.
Me and my dad played the hell out of it. But yeah, talking about video games. So I don't mean to just butt right in.
No, get in on this.
But I've got to get my story in. So
get in.
I got a original 8-bit Nintendo in 87 or 88.
Yep, about the same time I got mine.
My wonderful father fell in love with video games.
My dad did too. It was a cool time. But
yeah.
I think even the adults. I don't mean to cut you, but I think the adults.
Well, yeah, because they
grew attached to the Nintendo itself.
They would watch your joy and they'd be like, "Give me that."
Yeah, and then
that was my dad. He was a Metroid guy.
Oh, okay, damn. Okay, see, my dad was like me and my dad always battled out on Nintendo Golf.
Oh, I'm going to touch that in just a second, but my dad was so deep in Metroid. Okay, he worked third shift. He would get off in the morning. He would stop and get a whole case, a carrying case, at the donut shop by the house of coffee. And he would drink coffee, smoke cigarettes, and play Metroid.
All day.
So I remember I would come home from school, and there's Dad, just smoking cigarettes, drinking coffee. And remember he had to write down passwords.
Yeah.
And he would lose his fucking mind if he didn't get that password written down. And he just had coffee cups and stacks of little pieces of paper
all over the place
with his shit handwriting all over the place. Where's I need my goddamn password. And he would lose his shit. Absolutely lose his shit if he couldn't find that. But we went on. We did not go the Genesis route.
Okay.
We went with the Super Nintendo, SNES.
Hey, not a bad system. Actually, in one of these random closets, I still have one laying around here somewhere. Yeah. Actually, I don't know which one it's in, but it's in there.
See, that's when he and I got immersed in interactive and 2-player games.
Mm-hmm.
So I would always play NBA Jam.
Oh, very good. Yes.
And
you type in Air 1, 2, 3, and you got that awesome kid. That could jump like 10 times higher than everybody.
Well, see, I never let him in on the little secret of the sprint to the corner always gave you a 3-pointer.
Oh, no. All right.
And he would be like, "I know you're cheating. I know you're cheating." And we would get, I'd just be like, "Oh, Dad, I don't know, dude. I don't know."
Well, no, but I'm just draining threes all day on your ass. I know that much. Street
Fighter, same thing. I had this turbo remote, and you could switch it on. If you held down on the button, it would do...
Oh, yeah, everything would go faster, yeah.
And I always chose Chun-Li and did the fast kick. And I remember he threw a remote across... He threw it across the living room, calling me a cheater one day. Oh, God. So I eventually had to let him in on all of the
dirty secrets.
Yeah.
Because you didn't want a TV broker, Back then, they never really sold individual controllers and shit at that time.
Right.
Because there wasn't accessories.
Right.
Like, at that time, they gave you 2 controllers, and you got the system.
And they were beasts.
Yeah, they were beasts.
You could stomp one of those controllers out, and it'd be fine.
Yeah. You would have to go buy, like, the special controllers and
Which
stuff.
were sweet.
Yeah, because I remember when Mortal Kombat came out.
Yeah.
And Mortal Kombat, like, I always played on the arcade, but Mortal Kombat came out, and I remember going into like, which is really weird because even for the Genesis, I can tell you right now is the blood code, which is ABACABB.
Wow.
I will never forget that code in my
Nice.
life. But I had the controller that had, instead of the 3 buttons that Genesis offered, it had
4.
6.
6.
It had an ABC, XYZ.
Ah.
And what the best part about Mortal Kombat was when you played on the regular 3 button, if you wanted to throw a punch to the face, you had to hold up an A. So that way it would let you know like you were throwing it up.
Yeah.
The 6 button was ABC was your low, XYZ was your high.
Oh.
So I never had to hold up. I could just move my guy back and forth and hit the top buttons if I wanted to throw high kicks or the low to throw low. I never had to fuck with holding the buttons. So that was always kind of the thing was, there was always a little ways around. I'm probably one of the first people we probably ever met that had wireless Nintendo, the original Nintendo controllers.
Wow.
I don't have the controllers anymore, but I have the adapter that plugged into the front and the box. So basically all you did was, it was a box. It had slots for Nintendo controllers, and then you plugged remember everything was laser beamed at that time.
Yeah.
So you plug a laser beam into the controller slot on the system, and then you would plug your wired controller into that.
Yep.
And you could sit across the room and play without it having to be attached to the system. That was like the first real big wireless situation.
My God love it, my dad used to think that if he moved the controller...
Oh, I'm still to this day fucking shit whipping controllers.
I cannot tell you how many times he ripped the console off the entertainment center by yanking that. And that would cause a whole nother shitstorm. God love him.
Yes.
God love him.
Video games, and nowadays it's all about, everybody wants it to be like the most realistic
immersive experience you can get.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, if you're really wanting that, go outside.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or
Go outside.
VR now.
Yeah, I mean, VR is as close as you're going to get to absolute being in the experience as you can possibly ask.
Back in the day, I used to pretend I was Freddie Mercury of Queen, and that I was singing in front of Wembley Stadium. True story.
Hey, you know what, though? You can't do that in a video game.
You cannot.
No, unless you play probably like Rock Band or something. But
I had a golf club that was his...
the microphone stand? Hey, I'm not mad at you about that. But
and I was singing it to all my elementary school crushes.
Oh. Were you singing Fat Bottom Girls?
Fuck yes. Gotta remember, I hit puberty so early that it was stupid.
They're like, why is this kid in 5th grade and have a full beard? It's weird.
So, true story, here's another fun one, and while it's funny, it haunts me. In 3rd grade, you've still got the short stalls, right? Mm-hmm. The little tiny pissers, they're about like what?
Oh, they're like they're not even kneecap high.
Right. So I'm already dragging shaft against the top of it.
Dragging shaft.
Well, I was 5'2" in 3rd grade.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah.
My God, son.
I know what happened, right?
I wasn't going to go that far, but fuck's sake.
I remember, I pulled my sweatpants down because that's all I could wear.
My sweatpants.
Fucking husky jeans cut into my belly.
That's my problem.
I'm taking a piss, and little boys they wander. They talk to you. Their heads on a swivel, and these kids are talking, and it goes quiet. This kid goes, "Ew, Chris has hair on his wiener." And I remember I'm like yanking up my sweatpants. I know. And it was like, I remember that to this day.
But you know what? Those guys are sitting at home right now going, I wish I had hair like Chris on my wiener.
Well, see, it goes into another story. It's 4th grade. And the 4th grade was when we changed for gym the very first time. And I remember I'm at home, I'm getting ready to take a shower, take my clothes off, and I've got 2 Don Kings just sprouting overnight under my arms.
Oh, Jesus.
And I remember crying, sitting on my toilet with a pair of scissors, cutting all that hair off. Like, ain't nobody making fun of me. Nobody.
Yeah, I mean, well, they didn't teach you about that kind of shit.
No, they didn't.
Unless it was something that you maybe asked your dad, like, Dad, why do you got hair under your armpits? And he'll be like, oh, you'll get it one day, son, believe me. You know, like, Jaden does not want a beard. Like, he's like, I don't want a beard. You know what I mean? I'm like, well, you're going to get one. Even if it's patchy or not, you're going to get one, dude. Yep. It's going to happen. And he's like, I don't want to get old.
I don't want a beard.
But, yeah, man, I mean, dude, that had to be kind of hard as a kid knowing that, like, you know, we didn't learn about that shit until you were around, like, 6th grade. And then when you really got into health class, into like junior high, when they're like, listen, kids, your body's going to start changing.
I remember sitting there in sex ed, like, I pulled my shorts out, like, ha!
Yeah.
You're talking about me.
Yeah, I've been doing this shit since 2nd grade.
I've got one ball hanging out.
Just one crest in them.
Me and the gym teacher are sitting there the same way, like, ha ha.
Who's got tighter shorts now, pal?
The world is mine.
Male pictures.
And I was sitting there all hunkering too, like,
you know what's funny is that dude Tater Days you.
He probably did. Well, actually, our gym teacher was a woman.
You mean fucking Sylvester Stallone and Rambo?
Yep.
Because no teachers look like they look now. We had fucking prime time, fucking full blown strongman competitions that for fucking gym teachers.
Yeah.
We were just discussing that out on the porch. I was telling a story about in high school where I went to elementary school as my elementary teacher. I mean, not my gym teacher. Ended up being our first aid lady in Hamilton High.
Oh, okay.
And I pulled my groin muscle and fucked both my ankles up. And she was taping me, and she had me stand up on the bench and was tightening this wrap around my groin before I put my compression shorts over top of it.
Yeah.
And I had my tighty whities on because I was not a dude that free balled underneath my compression shorts.
I definitely did.
I did not. I was always afraid if I blew my ass out of my fucking football pants, I did not want ass and balls flopping.
Well, see, back then, you know, me, I was nice and toit.
All right. Well, you know,
I was nice and toit, and so were you.
Yeah, but still, I was still a little, you know. And it was one of those things where she's tying this thing, and I'm standing on the bench, and I'm in my tighty whities, and she's wrapping the gauze thing around my groin. And at the time, you can't see my tighty whities, but I'm standing up, and it's just head. And the girls' soccer team opened the door to the training room. And here I am with pain face, but it doesn't, you know, it might not be pain face. And she's just like this, hands like up around my dick and ball area. And she's like, get out of here! And then like, trying to finish.
I'm trying to finish!
Yeah. And, you know, and I was just telling the story, and I was like, and then the bad thing was I had to put I pulled my compression shorts up, and I put my basketball shorts on because I had to go put my football pants on, but they were all still in the hallway, and I had to open the training door, and then they're all in there, and I'm like, no, I promise what you think was just happening.
Fuck that, I'm gonna break that.
You're all next.
That could be you.
That could have been you.
You could be the next lucky runner-up.
So, man, coming into the end of this second part.
Oh, man, I feel like we barely got to scratch the surface.
Because, it's the side stories of growing up in the 90s. And
yeah.
But, you know, maybe run this over to another.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because we still have to hit, like, TV shows. And definitely the big thing for me in the 90s was the music.
Music, yeah.
So, and as much as you're really into music, and, like, you know, I think the 90s really opened me up as a person with music, you know, of kind of like getting out of my norm.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be something we will carry over into the next
episode.
episode.
Like things that happened, like the Oklahoma City bombing.
Yes.
We had OJ.
Yes.
Like, people just hear about that stuff now.
Yes.
We
had Piper and Goldust in a back alley brawl where they edited shots of OJ into the match, driving the white Bronco down the fucking highway.
It's like you say white Bronco now, and a lot of these kids, like, people don't know what you're talking about.
No, they don't. So,
and we lived it.
Yes, and we did, and we are going to talk about that next episode.
Yeah,
let's
carry this one over.
Yes.
I think we kind of have to.
Yes.
I feel like this one's obligatory. I mean, There's so much to cover in the 90s, you know?
Oh, so good. I'm glad that topic came up.
Me too.
So, from Steve,
Chris?
we're just two dudes, one basement.
The other Chris?
And the other Chris, the
Mr.
tech guy,
Wizard.
Mr. Wizard with the awesome memes and everything that's going on in the chat.
So cool. Great
Guys,
new addition.
Yes, guys, we will see you next episode.
All right, guys. See you later. Bye.
Bye.